And welcome back, my fellow fiends, to Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Last time we reached Asakusa and then had a brief bonus video where I cleared the Puzzle Boy minigame. And for doing so, though I briefly showed it at the end of the bonus video, we got the Geist Magatama. Makes you null to expel type spells without any death type weakness to go along with it, so it's a pretty good Magatama. It is also the Magatama that teaches you Media Rama if you want to continue having your Demi-Fiend as a healer, although if you are noticing on my skill set, I am not having him go down that route anymore. However, the last skill that it teaches is Mana Refill, which is actually pretty good, so if you want to pursue that and get that onto the Demi-Fiend, you can definitely make room for that and still keep a lot of valuable skills. I could easily drop like Violet Flash or Secunda for that. But I don't think I'm going to go that route. Before I forget, I want to equip Hifumi for what we're about to get into. I did some demon revisions, and you may also notice that my level is slightly higher. I did a little bit of training just to get up to level 42 so I could learn Hellfire and Violet Flash. The main reason I did that is not because I really needed those levels, but knowing myself, I would absolutely forget to swap in the Magatama I needed for those skills when it came time to actually learn them. So I figured just save myself the headache of forgetting, get those levels off screen, and we'll be fine there. I also did a little bit of fusing. I got rid of Zochu, and I forget what I fused him with. I think it was Saruta Hiko, to get Mizuchi, and the big skill I wanted to get onto him is Rakukaja, and life bonus is a nice, well, bonus, and Makakaja by default, that's pretty nice. I don't plan on using Mizuchi long term, he's just for this immediate fight that's coming up. I wanted a stronger demon than Zochu. Speaking of which, let's get Kurama, and this is the team I want to use for the upcoming boss fight we're about to get into. Daisojo, Arahabaki, and Mizuchi. Daisojo will be there for healing. Arahabaki has a special purpose for why I want him on the team, and then Mizuchi will be there to buff up our defense and tank electric spells. Other than that, I fused off Raiju and Eligor to get Succubus. This was just to get a stronger demon that gave me more fusion options later. I just got Rakukaja onto her to have that as an option. And you may have noticed, I purchased the Nue from the Shady Broker in the second Kalpa, and I'm going to be fusing him in the relatively near future. One thing I want to do before I forget, I just want to check my Demonic Compendium. I don't remember if I recruited this guy previously or not in this particular playthrough, and I did not. Okay, so he's already in the compendium. Yeah, when you do so many playthroughs of a single game, like, what you did in a particular playthrough kind of starts to blend together with everything else. Now that that's taken care of, before we head off to the Obelisk, we want to return to the Great Underpass of Ginza. And, you know what, it'll save me a couple, if I happen to fail here, which I hope I don't, probably wise to save here, just to save myself the trouble of having to remember to re-equip my Magatama and reset my team. Alright, there we go. Let's get on with this. So, as soon as we step out of the terminal at the Great Underpass of Ginza, our candelabrum starts to flicker. This will happen after you defeat White Rider and you return here. If you came here before defeating White Rider, nothing would happen. But in the center of this hallway, if you elect to stay here, well, as per usual, when you get these messages, we get whisked off to the Fiend Zone, as I like to call it. And once again, we get a horseman. This is Red Rider. Oh yeah, I'm alive and kicking. Well, oof. Actually, wait, what do you mean crimson armor? You're wearing a robe. Never mind. He just wanted to sound cool there. But yes, this is Red Rider, and all of the riders, they have the same gimmick. They will summon enemies to their side, and Red Rider in particular, he has the same problem that White Rider has. He summons enemies that are death weak, in this case powers. So let me see. Now, what we have to watch out for here is that instead of having Deikaja, Red Rider has Dekunda, so our debuffs will not stick on him. So we actually need buffs, which is why I really want to have Rakukaja. I'll just get a focus on the Demi-Fiend preemptively, and we really want to start buffing up our defense. Now hopefully I don't have the horrible luck I had in the last fight and I can immediately start getting stone gazes to work on these guys. Yes, okay, that's good. Let's see. We'll just do a meditation for fun. And I want to pass and get another Rakukaja on us. I really wish I could have fit Matador in there. I probably could do some stuff with Taunt. Oh, hey, that's lucky. I'll probably have to War Cry that off, so let's make sure he doesn't get those off. I believe the powers have access to Expel-type magic, but I'm not overly concerned about that coming into play. Alright, so let's get another Stone Gaze. There we go. And this puts us in pretty good standing. Those guys are going to be a non-issue for the rest of the fight. We'll get the last Rakukaja up, and then not have to worry about what this guy does to us for the rest of the fight. And honestly, I don't think I really need Arahabaki in here anymore. He's just getting rid of that excess attack debuff that Warcry gave him. Here is his unique skill, Terror Blade. Terror Blade is a somewhat threatening skill. What it does is it is a physical attack that attacks your party members randomly. I think you can hit up to 2 times on a given party member. I'm not sure what the hit cap is, but it has a slight chance of inflicting panic on you, which can be pretty nasty. I'm going to do something a little risky here. We don't need Arahabaki in here anymore, so I'm going to summon in Kurama so that we can start getting Tarukaja buffs in. And I may as well start throwing up Makakaja so that our healing is a little bit better. Now, aside from Terror Blade, Red Rider has access to, here it is, Bolt Storm. That's why I wanted Mizuchi, because he can drain the Bolt magic. He also has access to Wind Cutter, which is the ultimate Force-type spell. That spell does huge, severe Force-type damage to a single target, so you gotta be careful about that. That's why I wanted Hifumi on the Demi-Fiend, because once I get the Rakukajas up, that is far and away the most threatening thing he can do. But yeah, with those Bakukajas, that does... there's Wind Cutter. Yeah, and it's a good thing we got the Rakukajas up. Now, he could potentially kill Daisojo if he hits him again. Oof. The panic there is a little unfortunate. Yeah, I don't really have a way to cure that, so that's just something we're going to have to grin and bear. Hopefully I can get a Sacred Water out. I don't need any more Bakukajas now, so let's use the Sacred Water. There we go. That was no thing. Now let's see here. Get another Tarukaja up. And at this point, we can start pressing the offense. So let's just hit him with some attacks. And this is why we wanted Hifumi. And because the powers are stoned, we don't have to worry about them acting. Alright, that should max out the Tarukaja. So now let's focus on getting our offense out. Start focusing. And, yeah, Mizuchi doesn't really need to do anything anymore. Pass, and use this. There we go. Yeah, my, nice. What was it? The focus I had earlier must have fallen off at some point. I'm not sure if focus, lasts a certain amount of time or if certain actions can cancel it. It's, something I'm a little, ambiguous on. But at this point, we pretty much got this fight in the bag. There could be the occasional miss, but I'm not overly worried about that happening. And it's unfortunate that that did not hit Mizuchi, but that's kind of the thing you have to be mindful of. Yeah, figured that could happen, but it's not a big deal. What we can do at this point is bring in Matador. Oh, that was not the right demon. I wanted Matador. Oh well. Let's see here. Yeah, I unlearned Life Drain on Pisaka, so that was a pretty serious misclick there. Hopefully I can get Matador in the next turn. If Pisaka dies, it's not a huge deal. And yeah, he died. Okay, so let's Medea that off. This time we'll get Matador in like I intended to. I'm making like all sorts of misplays on this. Now let's get Red Capote onto him so that he can, you know, just dodge like crazy. Yep, well, I say that and then he fails. Oh well. Let's see here. We'll have him focus. And yeah, that's how we're gonna do this now, is we'll just have the Demi-Fiend and Matador focus, lay down some physical attacks, and that should do us good. And yeah, this fight, not really much else to say about it. Got lucky there and actually was able to pass as Mizuchi. There we go. That's what I like to see. Ooh, that's actually unfortunate. Okay, so let's focus. We'll definitely want Daisojo to do the Medea, and hopefully I can get a Sacred Water out. I probably should have bought more before I came here. Definitely not the smarter thing I did. Let's see if I can't get the Sacred Water to come on out. Nope. Ooh, that's not nice. Yeah, you lose tons of money when that happens. Not fun. Oh, nope. No dodges. Well, at least Daisojo is immune to that. Okay. This fight's going pretty poorly. Oh well. Yeah, this guy, I always have a hard time preparing for him, so he always a little bit random for me. Let me see here. I need to get the Sacred Water out so that I'm not throwing away all my money. Well, that didn't happen. Alright, is Panic sticking around? Okay, that was lucky. Okay. So I guess I'll just have Daisojo slap him and try to get the Panic off of us. Come on, Sacred Water. Come through for me. There we go. And, let's, just use Meditation. Definitely need to get his MP back up a little. Okay, finally got a turn to actually do something. I don't think I have any more demons that I can really get in that would be effective here, so let's just go all in on the offensive here. Bit unfortunate that I had some deaths there, but that was kind of my own fault for not bothering to rock Akaja after I tagged in new demons. And may as well MP burn him, see if I can't stall him out a little bit. That's definitely one of the nice things about Daisojo. Yeah, nothing going there, buddy. Don't even try. Alright. Let's see, okay, he's getting close to dead. Yeah, at this point, let's focus on just doing physical attacks on him. Ah, the Panic stuck on the last hit. Oof, that's a little spicy there. Alright, I just have to hope I don't throw away a bunch of my money here. Nope, dumbfounded. Alright, let's do another Medea. Be really nice if he used Bolt Storm instead of Terror Blade, but can't always expect that to happen. Alright. And now I just kind of have to fight against myself here. That's okay. At this point, I can have Daisojo slap him for pretty good damage. That's not too terrifying. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, not too much to say about the fight at this point, honestly. Oh no, there goes more money. Yeah, that's so annoying, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll actually, oh, there we go. Well, there's one thing you can do about it. I did consider leveling up Daisojo enough so they had prayer, so that I had a better way to deal with that, but I didn't think it would be worth it. Perhaps that is my own folly there, but there we finally beat him. And Daisojo is close to leveling up. And we get the Candelabrum of Insight. So that fight was not as clean as it could have been. It would have been a lot smarter to get Daisojo up to the next level so that he had access to prayer, but oh well. So how much money did we lose there? Yeah, pretty nasty amount. But we're going to get a good amount of money out of the Obelisk anyway. As long as I can stay over like at 80,000, I should be able to make the next big purchase I want to make without too many sales. So before we head off, well actually, we can just head to Ginza. Now one thing to note, when I got the 2 levels, I forgot to mention this earlier, Vitality hit 25, and that's my cutoff point for stats, but if you are planning to get every Magatama in the game, my recommended cutoff point for stats is 30, because the ultimate Magatama in the game gives plus 10 to every stat except luck. Which, funnily enough, means that luck is the only stat that you'll probably pump up to 40 naturally. Unless you do tons and tons of grinding. Way more than you'd need to complete everything in the game, so not something I'm really thinking about. But yeah, if you get a stat up to 30, there's no reason to invest any more points in it if you're doing a completionist run of the game. Alright, so that was the one thing we needed Mizuchi for. He can just go chill in the stock now. Let's get our Habaki back in, and we will get Estoma. Oh, it's already in effect. Well, I don't have to worry about that. Sorry, it was throat was getting a little stuffed up there. Now, Hijiri mentioned that the entrance leading to the obelisk, or the path leading to the obelisk, is in the secondary entrance of the Assembly of Nihilo. And I mentioned where this was earlier, or in the previous video, but this is located on the other side of a highway by the warehouse that we entered to get into the Ginza underpass. So I forget exactly if it's... yeah, it's right over here. So we'll take this overpass. You know what? Just for fun, let's bring in Pisake and see if he doesn't get anything with Lucky Find. I've never really had that happen before. Life Drain was actually the reason I got rid of that, is I wanted to keep Lucky Find just to see if it would go off while we were heading this way. So what the... oh, no, definitely not Ribarama. Thankfully, you can just overwrite it with a Stoma. Waste of MP, but not a big deal. Also, I accidentally whacked the table there if you heard a rumbling sound. But yes, we're on the Rainbow Bridge. I'm actually not sure what's in the encounter pool for this area, so I don't know if there's, like, anything nasty if you decide to come here earlier. Now, you may notice that there's a building off in the distance. The small building that looks like the Assembly of Nihilo we went to first, that's the building we want. The building off into the distance is a subway station, which we put a pin in that one. Remember it for way later, because that's somewhere we'll want to go. Hey, this is a booby trap chest? Oh, of course I got charmed. Oh well, it's not a huge deal. I can't heal the enemy anymore, so it's not something I'm overly concerned about. But Succubus is actually a somewhat threatening enemy. They have access to the Dormina spell, and that in and of itself is not too threatening, but they have an instant death spell called Eternal Rest that will kill you 100% of the time if you are asleep. This is what makes Daisojo so valuable. Because he drains Dormina, that is not a threat to us in the slightest. Oh, I also completely forgot. Got a Kushinada, so we have access to Mediarama in the stock. But the main reason you want to open that chest is that it gives you a ruby, and that lets you can trade that for an Aramitama if you have a jade, which I do have a jade on hand, so maybe, but not right now. So, in the secondary entrance to the Assembly of Nihilo, we can run into more succubuses, and these guys... ah, man, why is my throat so stuffed up? These guys are the main reason why I wanted to get Violet Flash, because they are weak to Expel-type magic. So, just hit them with this, and for 10 MP, they are dead. Also, this is the big reason why I don't really care for the instant death spells in this game. The actual damage-dealing variants of Expel-type magic are way more reliable. Those spells are much better in the Persona games and Digital Devil Saga, where they have much higher success rates against enemies that are weak to them. I do not need Dark Might anymore, so I'm just gonna get... well, actually, nah, I'll keep that for now. I may end up wanting it. We'll get rid of Makatora. I'm never gonna use this on Kurama anymore. That's okay. Now, the next skill that Kurama learns, and this is the reason why he's so good, is he learns Force Boost. So those Wing Buffets and the Tornado spell are going to be massively powerful when he uses them. In fact, if you have any spare amethysts, at this point, I actually would recommend trading those with some jades to get Nigimitamas, and you can pop up his magic, and he can do some insane damage with those spells. So that's pretty good. I might do that off-screen, but I don't really feel like it's worth it right now. Now, let me see here. We want to go east first. And in here, we'll find a bead. Now, there are a handful of treasures in this area, but quite a few of them are trapped with some pretty nasty traps, actually. So I wouldn't really recommend opening them. But I did make note of which ones were not traps. So I believe this one is not a trap. Yes, we get a Tetrajaw rock here. Very nice for when I don't have the free time to set up Tetrajaw with Daisojo, like he needs to heal or something. And we want to go into this one also. And this will have a medicine. There are a couple of other cash cubes here, but they are trapped, so don't open them. And let me see. I think we want to take this one. No, this is a booby trap. Oh, of course that's the right door. It's nice and glowy for your convenience. One thing to note about the succubi is that they have a high chance of dropping wagtail plumes, and those can be sold for pretty decent money, so not terrible for money farming, although obviously I don't need too much money at this point. But, you know, I'll probably need it later. Also, sorry if you hear a rumbling sound in the background. I forgot to turn off my air conditioner before I started this video, and I don't feel like getting up to turn it off now, because it is actually pretty hot today. Finally got some maintenance done on it, so it's actually working properly. It was terrible before. It was like getting up to 90 degrees in this apartment. Oof, stifling. And once we get past the true core of the secondary entrance, we have a very long hallway to go down. It actually kind of reminds me of the military bunker in No More Heroes. I'd say I should play that game again, but I actually did play it pretty recently, last year, in lead up to No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3 is a game I should probably play a little more of. I only did one playthrough of it, although I did do it on the hard mode, so, you know, got to get a more difficult experience out of that. Now, when we head to one of the secondary entrance on the other side, we will come across a terminal. And this terminal is pretty important because this one is actually the large terminal for this area, period. So if we have to warp out of the Obelisk, we'll be sent back here, which is actually a lot more annoying than you think. The Obelisk is a very long dungeon, and we get really high up into it, and if for whatever reason you need to leave to resupply, that is much more difficult than it really should be. Well, not difficult. Difficult's not the right word. Much more annoying than it should be. I really wish the Obelisk also had its own large terminal somewhere like halfway up the dungeon. Now we're heading back here, first off just to heal, because that is a good idea before we head out any further, but also we've got a fusion to do. So I've got the Nue now, and the Nue itself is not terribly useful. It has mana refill, but not any... It doesn't have enough MP to really make good use of those spells that it has in battle, but it is good fusion material. Now, I don't actually want anything that's a good healer right this second, but I do want something that has Makatora and mana refill. Now, this is what I like to call a Makatora Battery. We get something with Makatora on mana refill, and then we can run around, and it will restore its mana, or its MP naturally, and then it can trade that MP to our allies with Makatora, essentially giving us infinite MP. Now, Orthrus is not so great for it because he has pretty low MP, as you can see, but he's a good starting point, and once we can fuse him into something better, we can just keep chaining that fusion until we get something that has a lot of MP and gets a lot back from mana refill. Alright, actually, that's about the ideal spread of skills we can get for him. I'll take it. I was worried I'd have to reset this incessantly to get what I wanted onto him. But with Watchful, Makatora, and Mana Refill, this guy's gonna be pretty good. So, now the catch with Mana Refill, now it restores, I believe it is 1/10 or 1/9 of your MP, or maybe even 1/12. Basically, it just restores some of your MP every time the Kagetsuchi advances, but, and this is a big but, it does not restore any MP to you. Nope, not Mifunashiro. It does not restore any MP to the demon when it is in the stock. They have to be in the active party for it to take effect, which is pretty annoying, as you can imagine, but it's not the end of the world. That just means I have to tag in Orthrus periodically after he drains his MP, giving it to other demons or party members. Let me see. I don't know what I was doing there. We already have the Stoneman effect. But, conveniently, Orthrus will actually have some... Oh, now I know why I opened the menu. Orthrus will actually have some utility in the upcoming dungeon, because we can run into Bareth, who is a powerful fire caster, and he deals with fire pretty nice. Now, just for this overworld area, I want to equip Geist, because the enemies here can cast Hamon. The powers and the dominions you run into, they can cast Hamon. I don't think I have any. Yeah, I don't have any. Yeah, he was not pleased with my deception there. I don't think these guys are immune to force, but I don't want to risk that without knowing for sure. Okay, they are not. Alright, so we'll just hit these guys with Tornado and call it a day. And now that I have a Makatora MP battery, I don't have to be nearly as frugal with my MP as I have been in the past. Hey, level up for Daisojo. He gets the most important skill in his arsenal, Prayer. This fully heals your party and purges all elements. I know I've said that several times over the course of this Let's Play, but it is just so good. Imagine if I took that and he changed Prayer into something worthless. I would be so mad. And he gave me useless treasure like a float ball. Your demons can occasionally give you incenses. That is something they can give you. They just have not been very forthcoming with those this Let's Play. Now, in this cash cube, you get a useless treasure, 3 life stones. Not like we don't get a million of those from the random encounters. Yeah, like I said, the other enemy you can run into around here, I believe there's Bob Koss, and there's Dominions who can cast Hamon on your party. And if that gets cast on the Demi-Fiend, I am just too worried that will hit and kill him instantly. Another power, just one this time. Yeah, you can slap me. Alright, so let's just beat on this guy. No problem. Now, the downside of Prayer, and we'll get a chance to see it right here, it can only be used in battle. It cannot be used outside of battle, so it is not the perfect healing skill. If it could be used outside of battle, that'd be amazing. Get a cool 10,000 Maka here, which refunds the Maka I spent on the Kopatengu. So, now that I know these guys are not immune to force, we can just tornado them to death, no problem. Do Hellfire here, because it's a little cheaper. You know, I just keep running into powers incessantly. Suppose I could recruit them, but they're not exactly great demons. Alright, so... now that I have gotten Vitality to where I want it to be, I'm going to start investing in Agility. The more Agility I get, the less often the enemy is going to get the first go or ambush us. So that is the big reason you'd want to invest in that. Another nice thing about Geist is that it has a pretty high chance of recovering you. I think it also has a chance of recovering your whole party, which would be pretty nice if it happened. Alright, let's use an Astoma here. And let's head on into the Obelisk proper now. I just wanted to stop and get that money. Once I get into the Obelisk, I want to change my Magatama right away. You also notice that the next skill that Geist teaches us is Life Refill. That is the same principle as Mana Refill. It restores some of your HP as you advance the Kagetsuchi phase. Now, to start off, we got a small terminal off to the left there, but it's just a small one. It is not something that we can teleport to other cities with. Now, going through this area, I want Anathema equipped. The reason for that is that there is a lot of demons that have Mudo-type skills, the most threatening of which would be Pazuzu. He has Hellgaze, which is a decent, or a single target death spell that has decent odds of connecting, and I definitely don't want him to go first and then just connect with that on the Demi-Fiend and end my game immediately, so I want Anathema to give me some protection against that. Other demons we have to watch out for, I've already mentioned Barith. There are Karasu Tengus. If you do not evolve Kopatengu at this point, you can recruit Karasu Tengus and then level those up to get, let me see here. We want to take the East Elevator. This is the East Elevator. You can recruit them and level those up to try and get Karama Tengu if you're interested in him. And I'd strongly recommend it. He is an excellent demon. Here's another new enemy, Baphomet. I believe this is the first Vile-type demon we can run into outside of the Labyrinth of Amala. Nothing too much to say about him. He is weak or resistant to instant death, and not much else, I don't think. He's also weak to Expel, which is why we want Violet Flash. Now, if you don't have Violet Flash, you don't actually have to worry too much about that, because he is not resistant to anything else that we would be using, and even fire works on him just fine. But we have Violet Flash, and this is another reason why I wanted Violet Flash. Baphomet is another demon that it's really good against. Now over here we've got a mystical chest, so I'm just going to run around until the Kagetsuchi reaches full. Okay, it's full. Let's open this chest up, and we get a Jade. Nice, we have something to trade for another Mitama. Hopefully I get some Amethysts so I can trade for some Nigi Mitamas. I would really like to boost up Karama with those to get some extra powerful tornadoes. Give him like 3 Nigi Mitamas, or heck, if you want to go whole hog, just give him 4 and give him the maximum Mitama bonus. And he can really put some work in with Tornado. Looks like a bunch of women who are on the payroll of Hikawa. Three sisters, huh? They're holding a thread. They have a low opinion of Ose. Oh, I think we're more than up to the task. But it looks like we've got some observant sisters who are watching over us. Well, I'm sure that's not going to be a factor at all. Anyway, the other elevator we could have taken just leads to a dead end. It doesn't lead to any treasure or anything. Alright, we're on 24F. I believe the next treasure is actually a little ways up, so don't have to worry too much about going off the beaten path here. Yeah, actually, we don't have to go off at all. Thankfully, I did take notes of what floors the treasures are actually on, so I know which ones to just ignore. And the next floor that has a treasure is 32F. The Obelisk is pretty tall, although there is... Don't worry that we're on 32F. Obviously, we did not walk 32 floors. Now here, we meet the main gimmick for... Well, we come across the main gimmick for this area. We've got these time puzzles. Basically, the atmosphere changes, time freezes, and we can advance the Kagetsuchi by walking on these blocks. The amount that the Kagetsuchi advances, of course, correlates to the number of symbols on the block. So to get that big block that's blocking our way down, big block blocking our way, we got to get it to half Kagetsuchi. To that end, we have to walk on the 3, then walk on the 1. Obviously, if we walked on the 1 first and then walked onto the 3, we would not be able to complete the puzzle. If you walk off of the area after changing the atmosphere, the puzzle immediately ends. So that's not the end of the world if you screw up. Get a couple chakra traps here, very nice. Could have given those to that angel earlier, but unfortunately he's dead now, so he can't take them. I believe at this point we're going to start running into some tougher enemies. Let me see here. We want to take the east path to get the next treasure, and just follow this all the way. Nope, not this way. A little bit off there. We actually want to go up this way and then follow the path. I mean, we can actually see the cash cube there. I was just like, maybe I was mentioning a different treasure here. Let me see. Just want to take a look at my next notes. Okay. Follow this path and we will reach another treasure. Over here. We get a Deikaja rock. Okay, I went past the treasure I meant to get. So, let me just look at my map here. I think I want to go right on to here. Yes. And here we get our next treasure, which is a Sacred Water. Gonna use that in the Red Rider fight. Yeah, Violet Flash is not a terribly useful spell, but it is very good for this dungeon, just because you come across so many Expel-weak enemies that are pretty dangerous. So I think it's more than worth it just to have it as a temporary skill here. Now that we've gotten all the treasure that we need, we can head around here. And the next treasure we need to get will be on 50F. Heading up to this elevator right here. Yeah, it's very handy to know where all the treasures are, because most of this dungeon is just wandering around checking all the dead ends, too. Oh, hey, there's Bareth. Never mind, I can keep going. So yeah, Bareth here, he's weak to ice. Not really too much else to say about him, just don't use fire magic on him, really. May as well meditate some MP off of him. We can Violet Flash this guy, then our Hibaki can use Mabufala. Give us some extra press turns there. And we can probably just do a Wing Buffet to finish these guys off. There we go, no problem. They have pretty good experience, though. Bareth is also one of the earlier demons you can fuse that has access to Deikaja. Let me see here. Okay, so we want to head this way and take this block right here. Once we ride this down, we'll come across our next treasure. And here we have a bead. Very nice. We always use more of those, especially because demons like to ask for them in negotiation a lot. And I believe we're pretty close to another small terminal here, just heading over this way. Alright, and over here. Oh. It's nice when Mahamon actually works in this game. Yeah, unfortunately, instant death magic, I mentioned this earlier, even against stuff that's weak to it, it just does not work often enough. So as you can see, up there we've got another block puzzle, but we've also got a small terminal here. And I think this video's run long enough as is, so let's update our save file, and we'll call it a video here. So let's just make a save. Probably gonna end off this dungeon a lot lower level than I normally do, even with the training I did off screen. It is honestly kind of making this interesting, because I'm reaching stuff just so much weaker than I normally am, because I'm just, you know, I've got notes, I'm just beelining for the stuff I need, I'm not bumbling around or anything. Yeah, it's an interesting impact on this game. But when we come back, we will be traveling further up the Obelisk, and I don't know if we're actually going to complete it, because like I said, this place is long. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.